Hey everyone, it's Return of the Jedi here. Happy May the 4th. May the 4th be with you, and I hope everyone enjoys my 2026 collection room tour. And welcome to the Cantina, everyone. Like I said, this is gonna be the new 2026 collection room tour video. A lot has changed over the last year in the Cantina. I can't believe another year has come and gone, but this is gonna be a very long, comprehensive video. I'm gonna go over literally everything down here. We're gonna kind of do it in segments as I usually do, and I'm excited for people to see what's new, what I've been doing over the last year collecting. Obviously, I'm really into displaying, things along those lines. I just love the creative escape that doing stuff like this gives you in life. I think we all kind of need something like this to step away from the chaos of the world and just go to a simpler time and do something we love, which for me it's Star Wars collecting and Star Wars displaying. So I'm really excited to unveil this video and just doing a little bit of an overview of the room right now, and then we're basically going to go to the walkway, the stairwell. We'll kind of start there, and then we'll do like a fully detailed tour. So it's probably be an hour, maybe an hour and a half. I think my 2025 video was about an hour and a half, so it's gonna be some time. So grab a snack, grab a drink, and crank up the volume, and let's enjoy Star Wars together. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the tour. All right, so the first part of this, we actually have the stairwell. So leading down into the cantina, which is in the basement. I've actually redone some stuff for the entryway here, which I kind of liked it. Being more of like the entrance of an actual bar, because again, we do have a little bar down there. It's a game room, so it's kind of a hangout place. And really this year I made a lot more of a point to add more stuff that we can do for like hanging out, just making it more cohesive of that. So yeah, the collection is the main draw of it, but we love chilling, playing games, so love hanging out. So we kind of revamped like the gaming display, the gaming archives, rearranged our board games a little bit, our video games, kind of made sure that setup and everything was good. Kind of tweaked the seating a little bit. I got a new chair, which I'm really happy about, and just some things like that. We added a jukebox, which is cool, that I made, which I'll show everybody, but we made more of a point to make it more of like a comprehensive bar experience down in the cantina here. And with that, every bar or restaurant like kind of has a menu posted in the window or the walkway, so you can see what they offer. And that's kind of one of the first things I did, is I basically printed out our bar menus. So we got our tagline for Van Cleve's Cantina is the name of the bar. Our tagline is music, movies, and games, because we enjoy all those things down here. And we got our craft cocktail selection, all in credits. And we got our cantina beers. We offer Twilight Tuesdays, and we got Friday happy hour at 5 p.m. every week. So my wife and I will hang out down here and have a couple drinks, defrag from a good solid work week, good weeks of working out, all that stuff. So kind of de-stressing down in the cantina. But and I raised the prices to our drinks because of inflation. You know, you gotta adjust. So increase the prices there a little bit. We also pretty simple in the ingredients. I didn't want to have a bunch of different stuff stocked, so this allows us to be a little more simplistic with stuff. But also most of the mixers, things like that, are low calorie or calorie free, which is awesome. And then yeah, just some Star Wars stickers I added to the menu, but they look great, look like they're painted on there. So that's the menu to the bar. And then below that, we got a picture of my wife and I when we went to Disney World with Chewbacca. That's been there for a while. And then these little pictures lining the bottom here. I'm actually really proud of this. It was just a random idea, but stuck with the music, movies, and games theme, where every single one of these basically has, you know, Star Wars music, movies, and games in it. So this is the music one. So we got 3 CDs, the original trilogy up top, and then 3 CDs of the sequel trilogy on the bottom row. So those are all, you know, framed in there. It looks awesome. Thought that was a really cool idea. And then the next one we have movies. So with the movies, I decided to frame the prequel trilogy in DVDs. And then we got the Tartakovsky Clone Wars micro series and the Clone Wars movie, all DVDs in there. So that's the movies one. And then last but not least, You got the games, where basically just all classic Xbox games. So we got Republic Commando, Revenge of the Sith, Battlefront 1, we got KOTOR 2, Lego Star Wars 2, and Star Wars Starfighter, the special edition. So OG Xbox games in the games one. But yeah, those are kind of the bottom, aligning it here. Come to the cantina, enjoy music, movies, and games. And then above this, we have another picture of my wife and I. This is us cosplaying as Ewoks. We did this at a con the first time this year, and after cosplaying for the first time, we will probably never not dress up at a con. It was such a great experience doing that. Made it so much better, to be honest. So we'll probably forever be Ewoks. So that is us. Came out great. Everybody loved it. And then above that, we got my pin board. So, in the entrance to the cantina, and traders come near and far to trade pins with us here in the cantina. So I got the little board here. It's actually a Millennium Falcon cutout, which you can see, which I got off Etsy from an artist, and just some different pins over the years. So yeah, some kind of stuff here, some fun ones, a couple May the 4th ones. Got that 2020 May the 4th with Yoda, 2021 May the 4th there. It's from opening night of The Rise of Skywalker. Wolverine's Trooper we got on there, Blasty. So yeah, a little Halloween Grogu there. Wish you were in Bespin, Cloud City. It's always going down. So that's my pin board. And then above that, we just have another picture of us as Ewoks cosplaying. So that one actually is we had an artist do this where he put us actually in a forest, which came out great. So it's that second row there. And this is another thing you'll see with my displays. I'm very big on stuff being symmetrical and balanced. So kind of have these vertical rows, nice and symmetrical all the way through, leading to the last row. So these are, again, all above the music, movies, and games pictures I put. And then this is actually one of the coolest things I've done this year. Got the idea to make a digital movie poster marquee out of an old iPad. So it's small, it's tiny, but for the size and the space, it's perfect. So that's actually a very old iPad, but I basically put that now playing, those decals on this frame I got, and I got this Lucasfilm Limited print off Etsy. And I basically just can scroll through, make a slideshow with a bunch of movie posters that I just download and save. And then I'll just kind of play this as we hang out in the cantina, but it's in the entranceway. I think it looks awesome. And I just love being creative and doing little things like this, but just such a nice touch to the cantina. So we got a little digital movie marquee poster frame, any posters I could think of, music, movies, games, I have all those in there. I actually have one that's all Star Wars comics too, that sometimes I'll play, comic book covers, but the main one is mostly shows, movies, and video games. So now playing, come see what's playing, enjoy all this stuff down in the cantina. And below that, I got my Rise of Skywalker commemorative ticket from opening night, and admit one, so that's your admission to see the movies in the cantina. So you need one ticket, it's right there. So that is the stairwell, kind of the entryway. I'm gonna pan back a little bit so everybody can see that a little more. But yeah, that's the first thing you'll see when you come down, when you're entering the cantina. So yeah, I think it was fun. Just love the symmetry of it. Love the fact that it's kind of like the entryway of the bar, which makes complete sense. And let's go further in, shall we? All right. So again, once you get downstairs into the cantina, this is kind of the first thing you're gonna see. So I wanted something as always kind of nice, classy, high end when you get down here, because again, it's kind of first thing you're looking at. So got a mix of some pretty cool stuff down here, but the first thing you'll notice is my lightsaber collection. So for my lightsabers, I have them kind of all in these little hooks that are basically for you know, mops and brooms, and I got them off Amazon, and they hold great. I do have them screwed into the wall, but they don't need anchors, so I didn't put anchors. They're light enough and heavy. The sabers are light enough where these hooks can just hold them up. Works perfectly. I would not use a command strip just to be sure. Pictures and stuff, command strips are great, but for something like this, go ahead and screw them in, but just drilled screws into the drywall. They hold great, and just made sure they were aligned. I have a really good lightsaber collection, so this is pretty much done. Just for the space, I really don't feel like getting any more to try to rearrange it. Sure, there's always a couple more I would like to get, but I just don't see it at this point. But going through here, my sabers, I got Yoda, aka my favorite character of all time. So I got Yoda's saber here. We got Darth Maul. I do have both sides, because you gotta have the double blade for Maul. And then I got Luke Skywalker's, also one of my favorite sabers ever. Luke's green one's so good. We got Darth Revan, we got Leia's saber, we got Sabine's saber, Obi-Wan Kenobi's, we got Balin's saber, we got Kylo Ren, we got Darth Vader, we got Emperor Palpatine's, aka Darth Sidious, we got Count Dooku, aka Darth Tyrannus, we got Asajj Ventress, we got Rey's saber, which Rey's saber is also really cool. And we got Ahsoka's saber, where, again, you gotta have both sabers. She dual wields, and got the long blade, the short blade, so gotta have those set as a pair together. But yeah, that's my lightsaber collection, and that's pretty much the first thing you'll see when you get downstairs into the cantina. And then under them, we have the figures that started it all. We have the vintage Kenner figures. I'm working on completing the original 96. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm getting very, very close. So I absolutely love these figures. They're just few things in the toy industry are more iconic than the original Kenner Star Wars action figures. So starting at the top, we got the original 12, the first 12 ever made. And then we got the second row, still kind of the New Hope figures. What I got transitioning into Empire Strikes Back. In Empire, you got all the bounty hunters, all the Hoth figures. And still with Empire here. I do need to get the skirt for the Snowtrooper. That is something that I am missing. And again, I try to get most of these in as good complete condition as I can. Some of them are missing stuff. Very few are, but I am eventually going to piece those things together over the years. So for the most part, they're complete, good quality, good price. I try to do a lot of shopping. I do auctions for these where I'll get them, but it's just kind of a lifelong project of picking these guys up. I don't have to do it all at once. So, and I'm working on completing that, the original 96 from Kenner. And then we got the rest of Empire transitioning into Return of the Jedi here. And these are just little like acrylic shelves that go off the wall, maybe like an inch. Perfect for action figures. And again, just for like going down the stairs, this is on the side of the stairwell. It doesn't take up a lot of horizontal space, so they're pretty flat against the wall, but these shelves are just perfect for these. And then we got still Return of the Jedi. And then this bottom row, we slowly transition into the very few last 17 figures I have, which currently I have I have 5 of the last 17 so far. And then we got the Max Rebo band all complete there, which is actually really cool. And then got some space on that shelf to kind of finish it out. But yeah, it's my vintage Kenner figures. And they're under my lightsabers here. And I did like a little asymmetrical but symmetrical at the same time kind of design with the shelf, where they're basically just staggered. I just thought it looked cool, and honestly made hanging them a little easier because they didn't have to be exact, and it still like looks close enough. Like doing little tricks like that work well. But yeah, so vintage Kenner, baby, love it. And then on the other side, under the sabers, this stuff's really cool. And there's actually something new down here. I actually have the couple things I got this year, which I don't think were in. Well, I know the Mando figures were not in last year's collection video, but I don't think that Black Series set was either. Best Black Series set ever. But yeah, under here, I got my autographs. So, and all these are characters I absolutely love and actors I absolutely love, but I'm working on completing them. There's 2 of them I don't have, but each one of these, I have a Black Series figure, I have a Gentle Giant mini bust, and I have a 3 3/4 figure of that, you know, like same figure of these characters. But we got Darkseid Rey over here. I do not have Daisy Ridley's autograph yet, but that is something that I eventually want to get. And then next to it, we got Padme Amidala, same with Natalie Portman. I do not have her autograph yet, but that's one I eventually want to get. And then we got Darth Vader, signed by Hayden Christensen. Got to meet him, it was incredible at a con. So I got Hayden's autograph on that. And then we got Ashley Eckstein's autograph on Clone Wars Ahsoka. And then next to that, we got Rosario Dawson's autograph on the live action Ahsoka from The Mandalorian. So, just love the way that looks, love that display. And that is that shelf, and then the shelf below, we got the new first edition Mandalorian figures. So, this is probably one of the newest things I got in here, but I'm so psyched for the new Mando movie. I hope you guys are too. And yeah, this shelf, basically each side, I just have like a 10th scale Gentle Giant statue. So on this side I got Rey and BB-8, and then a real small like Gentle Giant bust that's a 501st Trooper there. And then in the middle I got the set, the Revenge of the Sith, Duel of Mustafar, Anakin, and Obi-Wan Black Series set. That thing is so cool. So many ways to pose them, so many ways to display it. Such a great piece. I'm so happy to have that. And that's in front of all the full collection of first edition Mandalorian figures. So those are all there. And then another one of those little busts. It's the Mem-On Radon Hammerhead. And then Leia in her Bouche disguise. So again, I'm big on color coding too. Like you'll see, like I love symmetry. So it's an important thing in the display. Stuff's gotta look good, it's gotta match. But I also like coordinating colors. So see how like the 2 things there, the Rey and the 501st are white, and then obviously the Hammerhead and the Leia are brown. So you try to do things like that to balance it, and it just keeps it nice and visually pleasing. And then the bottom shelf here, I actually have not a shelf, but on the bottom of the shelves on the floor, these are actually May the 4th pickups from years of the past. Like, those are the 3 propelled drones that they did a while back. I've never flown them, nor will I, but I think they look cool. And I obviously got them on sale on May the 4th one year. I think maybe 2019 or 2020. I think it was 2019 I got them, but those are there. They came in those cool cases, and then above them, these are like Lego giveaway, like mini sets on May the 4th. Like if you spent X amount on Lego, you got one of these. So I got one of those from 2019, 2020, and 2021. So that kind of rounds that area out, like those shelves under the sabers. And then I got one last little space under the lightsabers to close out the entryway. And this is the same as last year, but again, I love this thing. This is my Hot Toys Scavenger Rey from The Force Awakens with BB-8, and then I got her in front of the Black Series like Rey's speeder. So I think she looks awesome. So that is my Rey. That's my Hot Toys Rey, 6 scale. Just so cool. Love everything about how that looks. And below that, I got the Hot Toys Tusken Raider. I love the pose. Thing is so cool also. Tuskens are such cool designs. And that's displayed with the vintage collection Bantha. So they just go so well together. Yeah, they're not scaled. They don't have to be, you know, it's your display, it's art. Like it's different pieces. They go well together, the color scheme's the same. The Tusken shelf, you know? Looks awesome. And then below this we got like a Clone Wars thing for the most part, but we got Bo-Katan and Gentle Giant mini bust of Jango Fett and Padme. And then we got 3 of those like Bounty Collection Black Series figures. I can't remember what they were called, but they had a lot of bounty pucks back there. But We got May, we got Ahsoka and Bo-Katan. But again, just kind of match the bounty hunter theme, the blue in color. Just looks awesome. And then we got 3 droids here. We got BB-9E, we got Dio and Lola. So that is kind of what's in the entryway. When you first walk down the stairs in the cantina, this is the first area that you see. So again, I love the way it looks. Not up there in the middle, that's just our motion sensor, one of our motion sensors, our security system that we have. But yeah, come on down. See all this, the sabers, the heavy weaponry. Yeah, I hope everybody liked the first part here, and let's transition to the Black Series area. All right, so next part here, we're transitioning to the Black Series area. So for the most part, Black Series is figures, but Hasbro always says it's kind of just a tag they use for like premium pieces. So technically those lightsabers are Black Series. Obviously there's some Black Series figures over there as well. But my main Black Series collection is this shelf. And it's basically 2 small bookshelves side by side. I actually went with the ladder shelf that doesn't have backs because like our water turn off and stuff is behind them. So just keeping our basement functional, I can basically just remove the little risers and stuff out of the figures, and then we can access the panels, stuff like that. It's the same with where our like main like surge like fuse boxes. It's behind a poster where you could just take off the wall and boom, you got access to it. So this solves the problem of those things like sticking out in your display, which you don't like, but also still keeping it functional to be able to use it. So I would always recommend, like, I know like picking shelves and things like that, it's not the most like glamorous part of collecting, but I really encourage everybody to really actually think about those parts too. Like, your collection can look very good or very bad depending on how you have it displayed, what kind of things you're putting them on. You want stuff to match, you want it to look good, and you also have to think of like function. So how I like kept our panels accessible, like stuff like that's important. So just a little side note there, but just collect and display wisely. This is yours to make it your own, but you got to make it work with your place too. So this is my main Black Series figure collection. I do have 3 of the helmets, which I absolutely love. I would love to collect more, but they just take up so much room, and I'm 100% content and happy with what I got. But you got Darth Vader in the middle, you got the Incinerator Stormtrooper on the right, and then we got the regular Stormtrooper on the left. And on the top shelf here, we actually have 2 prequel Black Series figures, but we got the Droideka, and then we have the Super Battle Droid there. And that's actually the Hot Toys 6-scale Boba Fett from The Mandalorian. And then that's actually a 1/6 scale Gentle Giant Obi-Wan Kenobi statue. So that's on the top shelf here. And then on the left, I do have some carded figures on the wall, like displayed. These are all kind of like special figures. The figures I like having, just wanted to keep some in the box. But we got the Rise of Skywalker Rey from the Black Series. So we got the regular black box, and we also have the white first edition box. Above that, we got the Credit Collection Heavy Infantry Mandalorian. That was actually a Best Buy exclusive. I love that thick card back. I just think that one looks so cool. And again, for my 3 3/4 figures, like I want all the card backs to be the same. They should always match, standard size, no matter what. No compromises there. But for specialty stuff like this where I don't really care, like a Black Series figure that I always open, I do like sometimes having different odd card backs for that. But I just love that design, so I kept that carded. Also got the 50th anniversary Jar Jar Binks on the iconic Phantom Menace card back. You got the 40th 4-LOM or Zuckuss, 4-LOM or Zuckuss, which everybody knows on the original figures, the names were switched and they never changed it. So they kind of paid homage to that, Hasbro did when they did this 40-year re-release. So it's technically Zuckuss, but it's 4-LOM on the card back. And then we got the Yavin Ceremony Leia, awesome figure, and the Power of the Force 2 box. I mean, I love that. The Power of the Force 2 is such a nostalgic, iconic line for me, and that was kind of, like, I was born in '84, so technically the original trilogy was all out by the time I was born, but when I was real young, I basically grew up with the OT, watching all those. But even then, like, the older toys were hard to get. So I didn't have a lot of them, and it was hard to collect for them, and they were already going for pricier amounts of money. So when the Power of the Force 2 came out, suddenly there were new Star Wars figures on shelves. It was so exciting having that. And honestly, they've been there ever since. The industry has not looked back. So I think it's kind of funny that Power of the Force 2 is still kind of considered modern, even though it was like 30 years ago now. But nonetheless, this line is so iconic because it brought back Star Wars figures on shelf. So it was cool that they did a Black Series special figure commemorating that line and that card back. And then above that, we got the General Grievous. It's from the Tartakovsky Clone Wars. Again, the Clone Wars card back. So awesome. And then above that, we got the Kennard colored Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ben Kenobi. Which is a vintage Kenner figure design Kenobi. So those are my carded figures that I have aligning my Black Series shelf. And let's go ahead and get into the shelf, shall we? So I love this so much. I took a lot of time figuring out who I wanted to display where, again, making them themed, thinking about symmetry, color scheme, stuff like that. Each shelf kind of has its own like identity and theme. And I'm gonna go over them piece by piece. I'm not gonna highlight every figure because obviously there's a lot of them, but I'm gonna touch upon quite a few. So it's kind of what we have going on. So we're gonna start at the top here. And we basically, my top shelf is Jedi/Heroes. So this whole thing, you got Jedi and Heroes. Such good figures. Devin from the new Maul series should be shipping soon. I think I got a notice from Hasbro Pulse. So I'm gonna add her to the Jedi shelf, which I'm super stoked about. Love the character, loving the show so far, as I think most people are enjoying it. It's a shelf, so you got Bastila there, got all the droids. I love that Yoda. A 2-pack Yoda, so awesome. I love that Ahsoka. The Luminara on the left there. Probably my newest one on this shelf is Jedi Dooku. He's up there, he's excellent. The Endara is such a good posable figure. Yeah, so this is this Jedi shelf, and I'll put like characters interact, like I have Anakin with Padme there. I'll do that with some figures. I'll have them kind of in interactive poses with each other. I just think they look great like that. And then the other side of this, we got the kind of the heroes of the Battle of Endor on the left there. And then you got more of my Jedi and heroes. And again, got Hera and Kanan interacting, the Rebels crew over there. Probably my favorite Black Series figure of all time. Dagobah Luke with Yoda. And the new Quinlan. Oh my goodness. Such a good figure. Definitely want to get him a pose highlighting his muscles, you know? Gotta do that. Yeah, I think it looks great. And I like that pose with Ayla Secura too. Jaina Solo up there. We got 3 leading ladies of the rebellion up there. We got Leia, Holdo, and Mon Mothma. And Mace Windu over there. Zeb's also a really good figure. I think he's underrated. A lot of people don't talk about how good the Black Series Zeb is, but it's pretty awesome. So that's the Jedi and Heroes shelf. And scrolling down to the next level. So now we got kind of a dark side Empire area. So this one, we basically have Sith Lords in the front / dark side users. And then we got my Inquisitors. And then we got some Imperial officers and kind of ranking members. So got the Palpatine with the throne. That is the original make of it. It's just so cool. I love the lightning effects. And Count Dooku there. Also one of my favorite Black Series figures of all time. And it's getting to be a little more old in the line, and it still holds up so well. Like it's a perfect figure. As is the Stranger is great, Star Killer. I put Kylo with Darkside Rey, Clone Wars Maul. Can't wait to get the new Lord Starkiller. And then we got Dual Zen Vader in the middle with all the Inquisitors. Again, just love those poses. Love those figures. They just look great like that. I love this display. And on this side, we got some Imperial officers. It's actually the older Krennic, which I'm totally fine with. I think it looks good. And we got Thrawn, we got Tarkin. And on the other side of this, got more Sith Lords in the front. Again, these are all so good. And I got a bunch of red troopers and the white troopers. So kind of my stormtrooper area there. I actually added the George Lucas stormtrooper, which I had in the box and I didn't have it up. It was kind of just in storage. And I was like, you know what, you gotta display your stuff, man. So I didn't know where to put it, so I just opened them and put them with the stormtroopers. So George Lucas is here doing his thing. And we've got a couple of the Scar Squadron people. Palpatine, Malgus. Obviously, everybody loves Malgus. Such a good figure. And the KOTOR figures. We got Morgan Elsbeth with Thrawn up there. Grievous is up there. And all the red troopers. We got Captain Cardinal. A couple Sith troopers. You know, Imperial Royal Guard. But yeah, I just love the way this looks. Can't stress it enough. So in the second row there, we got like a little dark side area. And then scrolling down the next one, we got kind of bounty hunters. And on the left side, we got my blue Mando shelf. So everybody loves all the blue Mandos that we've gotten. So, you know, blue Mandos, we got a blue quacky monkey lizard down there. Yeah, Casca Reeves, Cara Dune, Bo-Katan in the middle there. It's the old Jango. Yeah, Pre-Vizsla and Paz-Vizsla. Little blue Babu Frick down there because he matches the color. Droids Boba Fett. The credit collection. Moff Gideon, Mando, and Greef Karga. Because again, the blue color, you gotta use like parts. But yeah, it's my blue Mando shelf. I think it's awesome. And then the other side, we got, you know, the bounty hunters, the Mandalorian figures, and some pirates. So yeah, Jabba, Salacious, and we got kind of the main Empire Strikes Back bounty hunters minus IG-11. Don't have the old one. I'm still hoping they eventually come out with a new one. I think it was the blue box line. They had a IG-11 and then they put it in the archive line, re-released it, but I'm just holding out for... I've been hopeful since they got that new IG-11 mold that I thought that they would do a new IG-88, so hopefully they do in time. So I'm holding out, but anyway, not currently have an IG-88 in the display, but these bounty hunters are all so good. Every single one of these is awesome. I mean, that Boba Fett, Return of Jedi Boba Fett is so sick. But yeah, they all look great. You got Fennec Shan. Aurra Sing, I also really like Aurra Sing's figure. I think that's really cool. And then the Mandalorian show. And that's actually the new Mando from the movie. I love that figure. So that's probably the newest Black Series figure I have, is the new deluxe Mando with Grogu. The shine of the armor looks awesome. The fact Grogu can go on the back is great. So yeah, that's those. And then this side just got like pirates, you know, Greedo's back there. You know, Miggs Mayfeld is there. The Skeleton Crew pirates. We got Jod. Chrysanthemum DJ's there in the back. The Clone Wars Cad Bane, which is the coolest Cad Bane, I think. Got Hondo's droid. Brutus. So yeah, it's kind of my bounty hunter pirate shelf. My blue Mando shelf. So we got two more rows here. And then we're back to some heroes. So down on this shelf, we got another Endor area over here. So we got the Ewoks they've made. And then actually on the speeder bike, we got Luke and Leia on the speeder bike. The Endor Trooper, Endor Han, and Chewbacca. So we got an indoor area here, and then I got some pilots. Got the Skeleton Crew kids. Got Andor, Cassian, and Jyn Erso. And then the next area, we got my Bad Batch figures. So we got Season 1 and Season 2. I have not changed the display of this, but I love how I have it. So for Season 1, I actually have them all with the helmets on, but the same order. It's like we got Echo in the left front, Wrecker in the right front, same, and so on. So they're same exact type of display, but Season 1, they have all the helmets on, and Omega has their helmet off. And then for Season 2, they're all with their helmets off, holding their helmets, and Omega has her hat on. So again, always thinking balance and symmetry in your displays, but Bad Batch, they look awesome. Saw Gerrera, such a great figure. So Saw Gerrera's there, and then a couple of Phantom Menace figures, but we got Jar Jar Binks, also a great figure, and the Padme Amidala. So that's this next shelf. And then here I got my Clone Wars shelf. So I color-coded all the clones in the rows. Getting a new red one and a new green one. If you haven't seen the new Hasbro live stream of what Black Series figures are gonna be up for pre-order soon, but we get to add some of those, which I'm really excited about. But to the left, we got the Republic Commandos and the Republic Commando game. Such a fun game. Get yourself some Bacta Soldier. So fun. And they look great together. Love how I had them displayed. And then I just have a couple of the black ones, but we got the Umbra Op Trooper and the Halloween Trooper there. They just look cool. And then in the front row, we got some of the Clone Commanders. And then they're just kind of rowed in with all like troopers the same color. So you got the green row, the gray row, the yellows, the reds, and the blues. And that's the old Rex. So awesome. Yeah, I love my Clone Troopers, love my Clone Wars. And I love this shelf too. Bly is such a good trooper. And such a good figure too. And then in the middle here, we got the Clone Wars Armored Jedi. We got Mace Windu, Obi-Wan, and Anakin. That's the original Anakin, but I switched it with the extra head sculpt that came with the Revenge of the Sith like 2-pack, the Mustafar set, which looks so much better than the original head sculpt. So I was happy to being able to switch that. And then Clone Wars Season 7 Ahsoka there. And then to the right, we got the ARC Troopers. So we got Echo, Jesse, and Fives for my ARC Troopers. So that's my clone shelf, my Clone Wars shelf, which looks awesome. And then the last row here, so we're actually back to the dark side, back to the Empire. And these are mostly figures that are like black in color, but they're flanked by some gold and some silver. So middle, we got another Darth Maul, Vader, we got Mara Jade and the Emperor. And then a mix of like Purge Troopers, TIE Fighter pilots, some droids. On this bottom shelf, a Shadow Trooper from the Force Unleashed is so cool. Awesome figure. And then we got Dr. Aphra and her droids there. You know, Phasma and Snoke, and then we got Pyre and the carbonized silver Stormtrooper there, kind of finishing that display out. Again, love how these look. So it's kind of more of a black shelf. And then last but not least, I call this my Underworld. It's probably the most random, but it's all just kind of random figures that I really like, that just kind of hanging out somewhere in a bar, I don't know, but they don't really fit anywhere else. But we got Osha and May down there. The Gam Guard, everybody loves the Gam Guard. We got Bib and Boba Fett, and I got a quacky monkey lizard hanging from Bib. Bib took him for a walk. And then we got some other, scoundrels, figures from Solo. Prince Shizor is awesome. Jackson's great. Moloch was a good figure. I know people don't like that it's not that posable, but you don't really need to do much. It looks cool. and my Dathomir people. So we got the Knight Brothers, we got Maul, we got Savage Press, we got Marin, Ventress. Ventress is such a good figure. So that's my Underworld area. Doc Undar, DJ Rex is back there. This is my Black Series collection, y'all. That's about it for that. I getting back up off the floor here. And again, hopefully too, it's not too shaky on the camera footage. I'm doing the best I can with it, and hopefully it's good enough. But yeah, so when you come down the stairs, you got a Saber area, transitions to the Black Series collection. And now, going back around the room, we transition to my 3 3/4 figures. Let's take a look. All right, so the first thing in my 3 3/4 figure collection is the HasLab Ghost. This thing is so awesome. It's on a guitar stand, displayed like that. It's behind or in front of an Attack of the Clones poster, which I really love. Attack of the Clones. If you watch my videos before, you know that already. But got Attack of the Clones poster, and then we got the Ghost. And below it, we got the Rebels crew. So we got kind of the main crew on that little block there. And then we also got Callus and Ahsoka from Rebels there under the Ghost. But this thing is just beautiful. The detail's remarkable. The scaling, the size is great. I mean, what a great piece. The box, massive. When it came, I was like, oh my goodness. But this thing is so sick. I love it so much. And then below that, I do have some Gentle Giant 10th scale statues. So you got Bastila from KOTOR. You got Jackson, which my wife actually got me that for Christmas this year. It's such a cool statue. Jackson's so cool. And we got Padme Amidala from Geonosis. And then that's actually the bronze Yoda statue from May the 4th last year at Shop Disney. And I actually have my Theater Luke behind it. That Theater Luke, that Power of the Force Luke, came out on opening night for Return of the Jedi, the special edition. Like the first X amount of people in theaters were able to get some. I was able to get one. That was like my grail back in the day. Like that was like my #1 thing I had in my collection. And I still love it to this day. So have it in a special place. But what better special place than behind my favorite character of all time, Yoda. So, and again, the green matches. So got this shelf here behind. Beanbag chair, which I'll get into my seating and stuff in a little bit, but that's there with the Ghost. And let's get into 3 3/4 display here. So this is probably my bread and butter if I had to choose. These are obviously like the original size Star Wars figures. The vintage collection, the iconic packaging just looks so great. I'm predominantly a carded collector. I just love the way they look on the card. I think it's art. Love the card backs, love the way they look with the figures, the colors they choose. I love these boxed. I just think they look so good displayed. But I also secondary do like doing displays with them too. So got all these over here, even stretching back behind the bar there. This goes all the way across, but these are all little dioramas, play sets, 3 3/4 loose figures. So I love loose, but carded first, loose second, but I do both. So, and you'll notice they're on pegboards. So I got these little mini pegboards where I have these really long hooks so you can display them, and that allows me to like save space and not just have them plastered all over every single wall ever. Keeps them a little more condensed. I think I can go like 9 or 10 figures deep with the size of the hooks that I got for these. So these are all different unique figures back there. And it also allows me variability. Like I can change up who's in the front. So sometimes I'll put some new ones like that new Kenobi in the front, or some special ones I like a lot. Like the Kenner colored Boba Fett, the Clone Wars Ahsoka I love. Prune Face is awesome. Finally got the Tonikas. So yeah, it just allows some variability being able to switch them on the pegs, who's in the front. And say like for Halloween last year in October, I basically put all villains in the front row. I thought that was cool for the theme. So And then this is like just regular command hooks on the wall, but these are kind of like, you know, a little more like specialty figures I pretty much will always have displayed here. But we got some Sith, Jar Jar, that Jedi Luke is awesome. And this is actually a custom Darth Talon. I don't know if they'll ever actually make a Darth Talon, but I finally put one together that is a custom. That is my Talon from the comic packs, those comic book 2-packs. So that's that Darth Talon, and I got the custom card back off of Etsy. How cool is that? I don't know anybody else that has a Darth Talon TVC figure in their collection, but I do. It's a custom and it's awesome. If they make it a real one, I would love it, but I'm content with that right now. And that Leia card back, the Gavin Ceremony Leia, is such a good box. And the new deluxe Mando is also awesome. Gotta have Mando and Grogu figures out because the movie is coming. Super excited for it. And that's actually been the theme of my May the 4th personally. Like I'm doing a Mandalorian marathon where I'm literally watching the whole series. So did season 1, finished in season 2, and then I'm gonna watch the Book of Boba Fett in season 3 to round it out. So all systems go towards the movie. But yeah, so we got a couple lines of those types of figures there. And then I do have another shelf on the bottom of even more like on the pegs. And back there, just got a little Chewbacca that my wife found for me at Staples. But yeah, I just love the way these look on the card backs. Just so good. And love how clean the display is. And then these two shelves, these floating shelves. Big gaming persons, these are kind of homages to Star Wars games. So this is a Jedi Survivor Cal Kestis display. So in the middle, we got Marin, BD1, and Cal Kestis. And they're being flanked by a bunch of Tuskens on the prowl. On the other side, we got Vader and some Inquisitors and some other like darker troopers, so like, you know, TIE fighter pilots, things like that. So it's my Jedi Survivor shelf. And then this is one where I said our like fuse box, that's that panel behind there. Empire Strikes Back poster. I love Empire Strikes Back as everyone else does too, but such a cool poster. That's in the corner there. And then we got the second area that is basically exactly symmetrical to that area. So we got more TVC figures on pegs. So we got these up here. And again, same story. I can kind of rotate them around. Who I like in the front. Force Awakens poster. Also really love the Force Awakens. And then this shelf, this gaming shelf, is like a Battlefront 2 shelf, where it's basically just a huge battle going on. But we got the Separatists, and we got some villains. We got Grievous, Jango Fett, Asajj Ventress, and Dooku. Got these flame effects kind of displayed. Couple droidicas, super battle droids, regular battle droids. And they're fighting Anakin, the Clone Wars Anakin. We got Ahsoka, Shakti, Padme, Luminara, Mace Windu, and a bunch of clones. Yeah, Rex on a speeder there. My friend Susan gave me that speeder bike. Yeah, Rex and Cody. Yeah, it just looks so cool. We just got a huge battle there. I eventually want to get a new, one of the other, an extra at the Clone Wars Mall. Add Darth Maul to this. But yeah, it's my battle. My Battlefront battle. And then the next layer of these guys, get the Grogu from the Razor Crest. That was actually the first carded figure of the child where it actually said Grogu and not just the child. Because in season 1, we didn't have his name. We didn't have the name of the baby, the bounty. And Revan's good, Jango's good. Gotta have the Leia. The Revenge of the Jedi card back. Zeb, that was from the Razor Crest, or not the Razor Crest, the Ghost. HasLab. Got Crate Luke there. Comic Boba Fett. Woo her. When you go on a date, make sure you woo her. So we got Woo her, the Cantina bartender. Got the Magna Guard from Revenge of the Sith, Cara Dune. So that's kind of like another one of my little more like permanent display areas. So yeah, that's it for the carded figures. So I got, sheesh, now 300 or so? I don't even know. I mean, I think the line itself is like past 400. There's still quite a few I don't have TVC figures, but again, I'm working on finishing that up over the years. So they're all there. And I'm about to get into the loose figures here, my loose dioramas. But first, let's go ahead and just touch upon the rug here. This is from Ruggable. Ruggable did these like special Star Wars rugs. I waited. For the longest time, I didn't want to add one to the basement. And then I finally did, and now I'm so happy I did. And of course, now I'm like, oh, I wish I did that sooner. But the big BB-8 down there, and I got the one with the Millennium Falcon and some ships. But it's really good rugs. Highly recommend them. They're not cheap, but they're made well, as most pricey things are. But they're clean. They're machine washable. They're good flat paneled, so they look awesome. So it's my Ruggable rug. And I got one purposely that's like half the size of the room because, you know, we love the gym. We love working out. We'll work out down here in our storage room. We got some dumbbells and some mats and stuff. So we got this blank area where we can just move this and got plenty of space to work out down here. We also play a lot of the motion games on our Switch, like to play Just Dance and stuff, having fun. So the rug that's like half the size of the room, it actually worked better. I love that. And it just kind of like aligns my 3 3/4 display centered on it. Looks awesome. So highly recommend Ruggable rugs. They're great. And then let's start with this corner here. So my loose figures, I once again have my Gungan battle. So, you know, Phantom Menace shelf. Yeah, big Gungan battle, taking out a bunch of battle droids. Got Jar Jar in the middle, holding it down. We got the Famba, don't you want a Famba up there? But yeah, he's so fun. These figures are so cool. And some of the battle droids are kind of like ripped up. So we got like legs and arms hanging out on the ground because it's a battle, you know, they're getting shredded by the dominant Gungans here. This is my Gungan battle, and then on this side I got my Geonosis battle arena. Had this so long, this thing is so great. And I basically made it's like a hybrid between Attack of the Clones and the Clone Wars. So a little bit of both. I can't wait for the new Geonosian Warrior pack to come. I'm gonna hang a lot of those on this thing, but it's actually the older Poggle the Lesser from the Attack of the Clones line. And Geonosian Warrior, Cat Bane up there, that's the retro Bo-Katan. Separatist leaders up in the top, kind of looking at everything. Zam, Grievous, we got Aura Singh. And then down here, we just got some of the battle going down, but we got Ventress, we got Jango Fett, and some battle droids. All my Jedi, and Padme down there. Yeah, it's my Geonosis battle arena. And then the next shelf down, I got my like Death Star display. So you got the Palpatine throne. You know, a bunch of guards, a bunch of troopers, all surrounding Luke Skywalker. And that's actually the like Moff Gideon Imperial Light Cruiser walls. But they actually worked perfect for this. So I love how that all came together. We got a bunch of troopers and Luke. And I think it's kind of funny. We're saying that Stormtrooper right there that looks different. He basically is like a spy. He's a rebel in disguise, so he has that old crappy Stormtrooper outfit with all the new TVC ones. Yeah, I love mixing lines too. Like my 3 3/4 display, it's anywhere from Vintage Kenner to Retro to Power of the Force 2, TVC. As long as it's the scale, I'll put them in the display if they match and go with stuff. So I love that.
Just looks so awesome. And then the next row down, we got my Cloud City carbon freeze chamber. The mini cloud car. We got Luke and Vader up there. I did put LED lights in there, so it actually shines and lights up. This looks excellent. And we got the buff Lando from the Power of the Force 2. The only Lando buff enough you can see his abs through his shirt. And we got Boba Fett. Got the I love you, I know scene going on. This Han's about to get put in the carbonite. That's a really cool set. It took some doctoring up, and as you see, I have it flat. So those are tall legs sticking up, or that's the height that it's supposed to be. But I basically just use those as poles to make it shorter, and it actually fits well. So like the smaller legs that are supposed to go in the front, I put in the back, and then that allowed me to have the front just flat. So I think it looks better like that, and I just put some construction paper and stuff on the side to kind of fill it in so you don't see the lights through there. So I doctored it up a little bit, but that's my carbon freeze chamber. It looks great. And then this next row over, we got the Razor Crest. This is actually the first HasLab I got. I did not get the sail barge, unfortunately, but just the timing in life wasn't right for me. Not like everybody ever, I wish I did, but I'm all right with it. So it's cool. But this is the first HasLab I ever got, and it was so special getting this. I love this thing. And my Razor Crest is with my Mandalorian figures. These things are awesome. So we got Moff Gideon, we got Incinerator Troopers, some of the newer like deluxe commandos. I can't remember what their names were, but they're there. And then the AT-RT, I got a stormtrooper on top of that, riding that around. And we got Paz Vizsla, and we got the main Mandalorian line of figures there. They're all such good figures. This whole line, they nailed it. It's under the Razor Crest. It's all look great. And then on this side, I got some Jawas, Queel, the Blurg, bunch of droids. The Jawas are trying to pawn off a lot of stuff, you know? Always trying to sell things. So that's my, look at this Razor Crest though. My thing is so sweet. Love the display, love the crest. And then next line down, we got an X-Wing. So it's kind of a New Hope display. So we got an X-Wing with Luke and R2 in it. And then we got the Tantive 4 hallway. So we got the Stormtroopers busting in. We got Rebel Fleet Troopers. We got Vader, the Power of the Force 2, C-3PO, and R2-D2 because I love the shiny elements of them. And then that's the new TVC Leia, one of the best vintage collection figures ever made, I think. It's so good. Probably the best Leia too overall. So that's the next shelf, nice and simple, but it looks awesome. And then down here I got my Jabba the Hutt area. So this is my Jabba's throne room, which I actually did a double up, a 2-for-1 for my Book of Boba Fett throne room and Jabba the Hutt. So the main playset for that I'm using as a Book of Boba Fett display, but I actually use the top arch piece to add to this one. So that's got like the Jabba's playset with the Han and Carbonite there. And then I just put that over the top of it. And then we got Jabba over there, which honestly came out great. I love how this looks. So we got the Max Rebo band and a bunch of figures. We got Man-O-Man back there. Jedi Luke is coming in. Tessic is awesome. I actually put the Kenner colored Boba Fett in there. Power of the Force 2 Yak Face and Bib, Weequay. Power of Force 2 Ula and Leia there. You know, Jabba's double dipping. EV-99, that is not the last 17 one, so you can actually look at this and her arms do not pop off, which is helpful. But yeah, that's my Jabba's display. Super fun. Again, always adding stuff to these, but that's this next row. And half the fun of these like 3 3/4 scale is just the world building element. I mean, it just makes them so unique. Like, you can do world building stuff with Black Series, but to go in like large scale, you just need so much space.
But these are so much more conducive, there's so much more versatility. And the fact that this scale has been around so long, yeah, they don't all go well with each other, like the craftsmanship and what they look like, but the catalog of figures is massive. So like, if you need a figure from a shelf and it's not in TVC, you could probably find it in one of the other 3 3/4 lines and add it to your display. So that's also something I love about this line. So again, this scale is it's perfect. It's the perfect Star Wars scale. And then the next row, this is actually the Vander Heist playset from Solo. I wanted Solo representation down here. It's a good movie, and I thought the characters were great in it. So, and this is actually a Target exclusive, this playset. I do want to get some more of the, I think they're called Range Troopers. I want to get some of the Range Troopers to add to it, because I don't have any in there, but yeah, it's a good, simple Solo display. I was glad having that represented. So that's that. And then the next row down, we got the Cantina HasLab. I love how they made the Cantina so modular that you can really morph your display however you want yours. No, mine's not screen accurate. No, I do not care. I wanted to maximize the space and be creative with it. So how these shelves, this X-Wing, you see how the X-Wing is kind of on that little pole in the back? I actually was able to create a second level of the Cantina there. So I think it looks great. I used a lot of the stickers that came with it because I just wanted to jazz it up and just make it look fun, active. It's a lot brighter than the actual Mos Eisley Cantina. That was a dingy, dirty dump. Mine still is that, but it's popping, you know? I got some modern upgrades. But yeah, we got Han and Greedo in the middle there. And Mythrol and Tito made his way in there. Tito just wants parts, but Mythrol's trying to talk him into knowing there's more to life than just wanting parts. And then we got some hammerheads in that one. That's my Cantina band over here rocking out. Modal nodes. Jamming, having a good old time. Yeah, we got Luke and Obi-Wan talking to Dr. Evazan and Ponda Baba. Also playing some sabacc. Cantina. Few things are more iconic Star Wars than the Mos Eisley Cantina. Yeah, woohoo. I also got Amberu in the back there in the bar. Do you see her? She's spying on Luke because she knows he's a little young to be here. And Biggs Darklighter's back there. So yeah, I thought it was fun even having some figures behind the bar back there too, just filling it in more. I love how this all came out. This is just so fun. And I actually flipped the top part over. So that's actually on upside down, but I like the fact that this part was finished. Or the other part, it wasn't finished. I didn't like how it looked being on the top. So I literally flipped it over and it was stuck in there just fine. So that's another kind of alteration I made to the Cantina, but I just love the fact that that has like a more finished roof than what was under it. That, you see, like that's the roof where you can see under there. That would have been on the top, which I just didn't like how that looked. But from the vantage point, the viewing angle, you see it like that. I think it looks better. So that's the second row. And then the last row, this is like my Shadows of the Empire predominantly area, but it's also got some just EU and general tattooing as well. So got the Slave One there, and then all the Shadows of the Empire figures. Everybody here is trying to get Han and Carbonite. Got the good guys trying to get him, the bad guys are trying to take him. Got the swoop bike. Do have Shea Vizsla back there and Bosk. And then that's the Streets of Mos Eisley, one of those play sets, which work perfectly for the back here. Jabba also sent some people to try to get Han, the Sand Trooper, some other bounty hunters on the prowl. Yeah, it's this next shelf. It's fun, fun, fun. Messing around with this stuff is just such a good time. So yeah, it's the bottom shelf there. And then getting back up, we got my sequels area. So this is like that Snoke's throne room, but it's a BB-8. So it's a big BB-8 display that opens up into this multi-layered playset, which is so cool.
So we got TVC Snoke, and then we got Rey and Kylo, some Praetorian Guards up top. And we got the next row. We got Poe and Snap, Hux, some troopers. We got Rose, Finn, Paige, BB-8, Phasma, some more troopers on that next row. That's like the interrogation chair thing where they had Poe. And then this bottom row, I actually have the Resistance figures because again, they're a sequels era. So I put those figures in there. And then we got some other sequels era figures there. It just looks awesome. So I was very happy having a sequels play set. I hope they eventually start doing more of them, but this thing is so cool. And I don't even know if a lot of people knew this play set existed, but if you look at the Razor Crest and the Ghost, you're like, yeah, it's not as big as those. This thing's pretty large. I mean, it opens up great. Like, it's basically like almost a full-size BD-8 that opens up into that play set. And then behind it, I just got some ships. So I got the Mandalorian N1 Starfighter. And then we got the E-Wing from Ahsoka. So they're there, and then again, they're under my Force Awakens poster. And then next row down, we got Endor. So for Endor, I got the ATST, Endor bunker. We got a big Ewok battle going on. So some of the Ewoks up there are like little like Fisher-Price ones. So it goes back to like what I was saying, there's just so many different things that you could display, so many different eras and lines and time periods. So they went up there because I needed some Ewoks to fill in. We got some troopers on speeder bikes, we got the heroes. That trooper's seen a better day than this one. You got jumped by 5 Ewoks there. Yeah, love this. Love the Battle of Endor, love Return of the Jedi. Endor Luke, some commandos, you got Prune Face over there. So that's my Endor shelf. And then here's the other part of my Book of Boba Fett throne room, which is my Book of Boba Fett's throne room. So again, I just took that front part, which honestly I didn't like how it looked in the front anyway, because the vantage point is on the bottom, so you're looking down. So you couldn't really see anything that was blocking it. So I took it off, and then I was like, oh, I can display it over there. So I put it back there. Added depth to both these displays, and this just kind of helped with the viewing. But we got all Mandalorians. And Bib has been taken out. Looks so cool. And then I actually put the Armorer's Forge over there too, which actually went great with this display. Cobb Vanth. Got the Maudo Kreese Mando, some spiders. Some Boba and Fennec. Looking awesome. I love this playset, I love this display. So anytime they're getting a new Mando that comes out, that's different colors or something, it's gonna go in there. And that's this next row. And then up here, I'm actually gonna start on the bottom shelf on this one. And there's a reason why, which we'll get into in a sec, but this is my Hoth shelf. So I actually have the Millennium Falcon, and then there's a Power of the Force 2 like Hoth playset that's like got the, like cannon guns in there. So I displayed those. And a lot of Power of the Force 2 figures. And then actually that's the Black Series Wampa that these Rebel troopers are really trying to take out but are struggling. They got their hands full, but I thought it was cool having a giant Wampa in this display with these guys. This is my Hoth shelf, and up there we got Vader and the Snow Troopers. Yeah, I thought that was fun. So that's my Hoth shelf, Hoth display. And then next one we got Rogue One. So we got Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. And we got Vader on top of it, similar to, not Full Go, but similar to like Rebels when he's on top of his TIE Fighter. And then over here, we got the Rogue One crew. And some Death Troopers. So that's this shelf. And then this corner here, it's kind of by the bar, so it's really wedged in. But I basically have a TIE Fighter, and then we got some Ahsoka and Mandalorian stuff. So we got like Moff Gideon's back there, Ahsoka's back there, Thrawn's back there, Luke is back there. And then this, I got the some of the other pieces of the cantina. But we got Luke's land speeder, so that's a Tatooine area. So I'll kind of come around this bar stool so you can see that a little more. That's in the corner back there, so some more another Tatooine kind of display. Filling out the corner of this 3 3/4 section, so thought that was nice having those two like small displays back there. And that is a smaller shelf just because it goes behind the bar. I didn't need anything fully displayed back there. But yeah, that is this. It's just really unbelievable what we got going on. And then on the top shelf of this kind of transitions us to our next area, but not really. This is kind of just like a specialty con area, if you will. But we got the iconic Jar Jar Binks and Carbonite TVC figure. That's from San Diego Comic-Con in 2012. And we do have the Lost Figure line, so that whole set is complete. And still in the box, and I obviously got an acrylic case for Jar Jar there. And a few con pictures of me. So that's me and Ming-Na Wen from the con, Fennec Shan. And you got me and Ashley Eckstein, aka Animated Ahsoka. And that's actually a digital art piece that my wife had made for me for Christmas one year. It's me as a Jedi, which is so cool. So that kind of rounds out that area. And then I do have one Black Series thing over here, which is also con specific, but did not go to Celebration Japan, but man, I love the Japanese aesthetic. So that's actually the Black Series exclusive, the Ronin set. I was just going to keep it in the box, but I fell in love with the loose and the box figure, so I actually got 2 of them. So that one is still completely sealed in the box. I love that packaging. It just looks so freaking cool. And then that's one that I opened to display on it, but such a good figure. And again, I wanted some Visions representation. I love representing all the Star Wars down here. I said this 1,000 times, but I'm a fan of all of it. There's stuff I like more than others, but I'm a big believer in positivity and find something that I like in everything versus dwelling on the things that I don't. Life is so less stressful like that and just so much better. So I love having everything represented down here. I'm an all-around Star Wars fan. But yeah, having some Vision stuff down here is awesome. And then down here, I got those kind of transitions us to our Funko bar area, but got the Impressions line, the Japanese like Funko Pops. Man, these things are so cool. Love that line so much. And I wanted a special area for those. They went well with the other Japanese stuff. And it's one of my Beats pills for our jukebox. I have it synced to 2 Beats pills, which keeps stereo sound, but it's not overly powerful that blasts out the whole place, but great quality, and it's like just enough. And you can actually sync the speakers together, so they play together, which is awesome. But I got one by the TV and then one over here rounding out the room. And they're hooked up to the iPad jukebox, but that kind of closes it out for the 3 3/4 display. I'll pan back a little bit. This was definitely one of the longer parts of the video, but it was just such an intricate display over here. So with that, let's go to the bar. All right, so when we get over to the bar area, it's basically a very small 2-seater bar, but it's perfect for down here. I got 2 Stormtrooper bar stools. And then on the top of the bar, you got my Porg. We got our liquor selection over here. And it's on these like LED light up risers. It just makes it glow and just look great. And just kind of some stress ball things you can squeeze. One of my controller chargers and a Porg. And then those are kind of crocheted cross-stitch art pieces that my friends Dana gave to me. So I got the Mandalorian and Ahsoka. Those are so awesome. And then we got this Leia here, this animated Leia in the middle of the bar, an R2-D2 statue from Gentle Giant. A couple Battle of Hoth coasters on the bar. And on this side, we got Darth Revan. That's a Darth Revan statue from GameStop, and then the same pose I put it in, that's the TVC figure Revan, which is so cool. So they're on the corner of the bar, and then top of the bar just got some of my bartender stuff. So got a Grogu glass and all my straws, and my bartender kit for mixing cocktails, and then that's a Millennium Falcon serving board. So you have guests over and make like a charcuterie board or meat and cheese tray, stuff like that, and pop it on there and serve it on the Millennium Falcon. Just a classy establishment down here in the cantina, you know. But that's the bar. And over the bar, I actually changed the main sign of the cantina, where it used to just say the name Van Cleve's Cantina, which it still does, but I spread it out because I finally got this big, huge poster at a con of the Star Wars saga. Man, this thing is sweet. So this aligns the whole thing almost. So it still says Van Cleve's Cantina, but I got this huge piece in the middle. I put a Rebel Alliance sticker on each side. Scroll through one last time, but this is so awesome. And to put it up, I actually got 2 sheets of acrylic that I had custom made. So there's a sheet in the back that's basically mounted, taped to the duct wall back there. And then I got these hardcore, heavy-duty magnets that I basically have holding that all together in place. These magnets supposedly hold like 20 pounds each. And it took like 10 of these total, or 12 of these total, to keep this up. And not because of the weight, but just because of the physics of the length. But I wanted to attach something that protected the front, but I didn't want to stick something to it. So I use these heavy-duty magnets in the corners. They actually look clean, like it looks like there's just something hanging on them, but it's all stuck up with magnets and mounting tape in the back, which is great. But I wanted to keep the print in great condition. And one more scan over it. Yeah, this thing is so awesome. Absolutely love this piece. I'm so happy with it. It was a pain to get up. And of course, I didn't wait for my wife. I did it all myself. Which she could have easily helped me hold it up and stuff. But here I am balancing on chairs, trying to hold this thing that's probably like 10 feet wide. Trying to hold, well, maybe like 8 feet. But me trying to hold this up while I'm putting these magnets on it, it was a good time. But yeah, this looks so cool. And then as everybody knows, I have one of those projection lights that blasts the sky up on the ceiling, which it moves. Such a tone for the cantina. Yeah, how cool is that? I'm so proud of this. Got it at a con. And then the bar, you've seen what's on it. Let's go see what's behind the bar. So when we get behind the bar here, I have my Funko Pop. So this is kind of my main Funko area. So I got the Japanese ones kind of to the left there. And they transition to the main Funko shelves, which is the backdrop of the bar. So you're sitting at the bar, you're checking these out. They all look so cool. I have a lot of Funkos. So I got some like theme shelves here. And I actually redid how those are all displayed, but we'll go over those. And then on these walls, like I really just have a bunch of pops. So these are all just kind of displayed. I'll switch them around. I definitely have more of my favorite ones on this top shelf, like these floating shelves up here, but it's a mix, you know? Like to mix and match, do different stuff. Some I'll highlight. But yeah, we'll just do like a little bit of an overall pan over them right now. Big Funko guy. I think they're so awesome. The deep catalog, so many different ones to choose from. I think the style's fun. Like, I don't know. I think they're funny. So I'm a big fan of these things. And again, all these down here, that Echo there is one of my newest ones. I just got him like this weekend actually. stretch all through here. So just highlighting some of the ones I really enjoy. Actually, Mara Jade I just got too. So I got that Mara Jade there. That Padme's awesome. That's the Galaxy's Edge Hondo. And that's the new, like, mercenary droid from the Mando Grogu movie. I think it's such a cool pop. Look at that. Just the weathering is awesome. And then that Kylo Ren is super cool. The two-sabered Anakin one is a rare one. I love that. Glad to have him down here. Queen Amidala, and we got that R2-D2. That's from the Celebration one year, that R2-D2 is. Incinerator Trooper's pretty cool. The Crow, the new Inquisitor pop, everybody's going nuts about it. It's cool. It's so awesome. Geonosis Padme, Captain Rex. I think that was a Walgreens exclusive, Sabine, with the helmet on back in the day from Rebels. That one's really cool. The Grievous, that was a Hot Topic exclusive Grievous. I like the C-3PO and the Ewok throne too. Kim from Skeleton Crew. And the Battlefront 2 Yoda with hood. That's probably easily my favorite Yoda pop. So I do have a Yoda shelf with all my other pops, but that's why I kept that one there. That's my favorite. Breathup, the Ewok. Darkside Anakin, aka Darth Vader. Revan is cool. Cad Bane from Clone Wars. I really like that Janna pop too from Rise of Skywalker. I think they did a great job with the sculpt of that. Yeah, just kind of rounding out my Funko display. Dagobah Luke up there. That Max Rebo is one of my favorites ever. My wife got me that for Christmas one year. Palm Krell's good. Dooku's good. That Treya, Frog Lady, Yaddle. So yeah, these are my Funko Pops. And these little small shelves here on the side. I'll transition us down to, these are kind of like themed shelves that all have Funko Pops, but then they have like a mix of other stuff too. So this is my Phantom Menace shelf. So a lot of Queen Amidalas, love that look. Just so iconic. We got some plushies, and a lot of Funkos, some Phantom Menace figures. And then next row down is my Yoda shelf. So we got a Empire Strikes Back lunchbox. My Yoda pops, some figures, a bunch of Yoda stuff. That looks awesome. Again, Yoda is my favorite character. Then next row down, we got a Darth Vader shelf. And kind of more of the same. It's like some pops, figures. So this, we got a lot of Black Series figures too. A lot of different looks and colors of Darth Vader. So it is cool having all those variations. In the middle, we have all kind of like helmet off Vaders. It's actually the Hot Toys Battle Damaged Vader head sculpt, which I have it, but I have the regular helmet on it. I just think it looks cool with it like that. But with that, I wanted to have the head sculpt out. And same with Darth Maul. Actually, in my Phantom Menace shelf, I have one of the Darth Maul Hot Toys head sculpts that I'm not using displayed there. And then the bottom shelf here is a Boba Fett shelf. Again, so many different looks of Boba Fett. So cool. And I think that camo, like, abstract art one's kind of rare now. I actually like the prototype one too, the retro line, whatever they call that. I think that pop looks awesome. Did put the Rancor with them because of Book of Boba Fett. And then down here, I got an Ewoks and Droids shelf, so it's kind of reminiscent of the Ewoks and Droids shows. Funkos, figures. We have an old book back there. Yeah, love Ewoks, love droids. Next shelf up, we got Luke Skywalker. And another mix. There's so many 3 3/4 Luke Skywalker figures. They actually go that whole way across. And we got Funkos, so many different eras and looks of Luke. So awesome. Who doesn't love Luke Skywalker? And then we got a Ahsoka Tano shelf. That glow-in-the-dark one's the San Diego Comic-Con from maybe 2013? 2013 or 2016. One of those. I think it was 13, but yeah, Ahsoka Pops, Ahsoka figures. Again, also love Ahsoka. Who doesn't? So yeah, that whole area. Just love these specialized shelves with the themes. Just looks so nice. And then the next one over, we got my Knights of Ren. This is kind of a Rise of Skywalker shelf where you got Kylo, Darkseid Rey, all the Knights of Ren complete, and the Oshi's Dagger, which came out on Shop Disney one year for May the 4th. So I displayed that with my Knights of Ren shelf. And this next one, we got Rogue One. This is my Rogue One pops down here. And then the bottom shelf here is just kind of those like specialty gold ones they did. So the gold pops, gold figures. It was like this Celebrate the Saga line thing. So got them all displayed up there. Just came out pretty cool. And then shift in positions to be able to get through and show the last shelf down here, which is, we got a Last Jedi shelf. We got Rey and Kylo crossing sabers in front of Snoke. I thought that looked cool. And some pops, obviously some figures. These look awesome. And that Snoke's throne room scene in The Last Jedi is so cool. Just the red color, the fighting, just such an awesome scene. And the next shelf down, we got the Mandalorian. So we got a lot of the carbonized slashed credit collection figures there with these pops. And a couple of Pez dispensers, a Mando lunchbox. It's my Mandalorian theme shelf, and then the bottom one is a Hoth shelf. So I did put the redeemed Vader down there, and like EU Darth Vader Funko that just came out, just because it's white in color. So it matches, so why not? That's my Hoth shelf. A couple of AT-AT drivers. And a Snowtrooper. A Probe Droid. Yeah, it's just such a cool display. This is all behind the bar. Little Funko area. So we'll pan through of all of it. And I recently did these, like I balanced them out and kind of made the design symmetrical. I'm not sure if you can tell, but they're all kind of like what's on one side has something on the other side and so on. So I really tried to like make these shelves look a lot nicer, because at first, like last year's room tour, if you watch it, they're all just kind of wedged in there. So yeah, I didn't like it as much. So I messed with that, but I cleaned that up a lot. And it'll kind of close out the Funko / bar area. I am going to go over what's under the bar, but that's going to transition us to our next segment of the video, which is like our board games and kind of our, you know, tabletop and seating area. So let's get into it. All right. So transition into what's behind the bar. On the other side of this duct, I have my Power of the Force 2 collection. So these are all in card. These are all the red cards, which they are definitely orange in color, but they were called red cards at the time. So the red cards were like the first few waves of this. So it's a very brief run of all these Power of the Force 2 figures and these red cards. And then the whole rest of them were all green. So kind of have all of these guys command hooked. Also, all the lightsabers that had long saber options are the long sabers, which again, that was something where when they first made them, see how long that lightsaber is? They were all massive. And they eventually made them shorter. So the long sabers were basically like the first runs of all these. So they're all long sabers if they had that option, which is cool. I wanted them to all be the first line of these. But like I talked about before, it was just such a nostalgic, iconic time for Star Wars collecting to have these figures back on shelves. Special place in my heart for Power of the Force 2 figures. I love this line so much. The Leia was definitely one of the hardest ones to get. But yeah, just so good. So these line, this whole thing, this is all of these figures complete. That's my red card, Power of the Force 2 figures. And then panning down here, under the bar, we start to get to some of our board games. And down here, under the bar, we got a mini fridge. So that's where, like, you know, keep our beers and other beverages that we want cold. So we got a little mini drink cooler here. And we got some Grogu napkins, a couple shot glasses. Keep the TV remotes down there because I just don't want them sitting on random places. And then we do a lot of board games. Like my wife and I, we're two big kids. We love playing a lot. So, you know, a lot of games down here. And then each game shelf kind of has like a little Funko or something. But first shelf, we got our poker chips. That's a little mini air hockey table. And then just some games that we'll play. Dominoes, that's basically a Han Solo like Sabat card game. And next shelf, Floats with Goats is really fun. Highly recommend it. Anybody's looking for a pretty fun, simple game, that's a great one to play. And then these are all kind of some of the like traditional standard games. Like we also like playing games sometimes where you have to think a lot. And we also like playing games where you really don't have to think a lot. So it kind of depends on the mood we're in. But with that, we like having a mix of more complex and more simple games. So Jenga's back there, but these are all just displayed nice and clean. And then these are all card games over here. And there's a couple rows. So there's another full row of card games behind these. The big Uno players, we play Uno a ton. So that's the next shelf there. And the next shelf going down, again, got more board games. Back here. And then we got one last row at the bottom. Zori Funko Pop. Wits and Wagers is really fun. We'll work on our flexibility, playing some Twister. So yeah, that's behind the bar board game stash. And again, it's just real clean. Keeps it organized, makes them easy to find, easy to pull games out. And really allowed us to use the space behind the bar. And then here we have our table, but under our table, instead of a seat on this back part, we got some more games. And another game shelf. It's got the Hoth Planet Adventure game. We got Star Wars Monopoly, which we actually played last night for the holiday. My wife won, of course she did, but she's awesome. She's so skilled. So she beat me. Blockus, we play a lot. Spots is fun. Ticket to Ride and Wingspan are two of the best board games we've ever played. I highly recommend both those. Yeah, Battleship is there. Connect 4. Oops, that's like the Five Below knockoff Asari, which is fun. But yeah, I thought that was clean. So that's our board game area. And then we get the board games out and we'll play them on this table here. So is basically a 4-person table. I used to have a bench back there, but we actually took the bench to work. So that's in our lobby at work now. And that got rid of one seat, but we can just always pull over another chair if we need a 4th. But usually it's just her and I down here. So we'll just play games down here, but we really only need a couple seats. And then the chairs we use at this card table, they're basically just steel folding chairs, but I put these magnetic pads. They're fake leather on the bottom, and just put Rebel Alliance stickers back there, which just makes them comfortable enough. It's such a difference. And then these are like Star Wars coasters, all trooper helmets. And the coasters, they all have bottle openers on the bottom, which is kind of handy. But yeah, I got a Star Wars trooper coaster set. Our tabletop, like coffee table book. It's a Star Wars vault.
by Steve Sansweet, who's actually owns like the Obi-Wan Museum. That's like the biggest Star Wars collection ever. Yeah, that wrote this book as like some 30-year anniversary special book that came out. Yeah, Bath and Body Works 3-wick candle. I'm a big fan of those. Just love setting the mood with a good scent, you know? And then we got some small bar menus I have on these mini clipboards. So it's the same menu as the menu in the walkway, but just some handheld ones that we have printed, laminated in the bar in case anybody needs to see what we got specialty-wise. And then we got some Grogu stuff. So little Grogu's holding some extra coasters if we need them. Little Grogu snow globe. And then over here I actually have a tower with my main gaming controllers. So of course they're Star Wars themed. So for my Xbox One, I got the Stormtrooper controller. And then my Xbox 360, that's actually the C-3PO controller. So those are the two main controllers that I usually use down here in the board game area, in the gaming area. And for seating, I finally got a Secret Lab Titan Evo Stormtrooper chair. And it's got a Kylo Ren Build-A-Bear hanging out. And I finally got a gaming chair. I've been wanting this for so long, and I finally went ahead and got it. It's awesome. So that's kind of why we had to get rid of the bench, because I had to be able to fit this in cleanly, move the table down a little bit, save some space. But yeah, look at that. And I just got that black leather ottoman that matches, goes with it. So that's my gaming chair. These things are made to you. You can choose them for your height and your weight. They're fully ergonomic. They got lumbar support. I love this chair so much. So that is my new gaming chair. And again, the fact that they have like a Stormtrooper one that matches our Stormtrooper bar stools and the theme of the cantina, I had to get it. So, loving this thing so far. I just got this maybe a couple weeks ago. But that's where I'll do my video gaming, sitting there. We'll do our tabletop gaming here. And then coming around to this side, we got some posters on the wall. It's actually a full bathroom behind here. So we got a full bath down here. Got a Padme Amidala poster, a row of Padme 3 3/4 figures, and then some Michigan Lego Stormtroopers Go Blue right there. And some Yoda 3 3/4 figures. We got a Rey poster. And then some Obi-Wan Kenobi 3 3/4 figures on the bottom there. So that's on the back of this bathroom door. And then this shelf here, we got a mix of Hot Toys, Gentle Giant statues, some random stuff on this shelf, but we're gonna go over that. Shelf used to be on the other side of the room, but I kind of moved that around to add another 3 3/4 diorama shelf. Top, we got a wall clock that's actually made out of a vinyl record. So I know a lot of people don't like clocks like that, but I like it. So got that up there. You can still tell time. Hopefully you can too. And then next row down, we got a Lando shelf. That is his autobiography. Billy D. Williams has autographed that book. When he wrote it, he did like a mini book tour coming to like select cities. And he actually came to the MLK library in our city, and we were able to get Billy D's signed book, hear him talk about it. It was really fun. So that was cool being able to see Billy D in person. And then we got a vintage collection Black Series figure, and that's the Gentle Giant Milestones Lando statue. And then Lando's Falcon from Solo, but so cool. Then next row down, we got some Jedi. We got Ahsoka. These are Gentle Giant 10th scale statues. We got Ahsoka, we got Mace Windu, and Yoda. And then next shelf down, these are 12th scale, but we got Reva from Hot Toys. Really, really cool, from the Kenobi series. Great figure. And then we got, she's actually with a Gentle Giant Milestones Inquisitor statue. I actually paired them together, scaled great. It looks like one cohesive piece. So I love that. And then the next row down, we got the Sideshow Clone Wars Yoda,
Hot Toys Anakin from the Clone Wars, and we got a Ahsoka statue here from the Clone Wars. So that's kind of a Clone Wars shelf. Came out great together. And then last but not least, got a Cal Kestis statue. And then just a couple of Gentle Giant like Trooper mini busts. I didn't really have anywhere else to put them, so I put them down there. But that's this shelf in this corner here. It's between these two doors, and that other door is just like a utility room where like our HVAC and our workout stuff that we'll get out and bring out here to train is located, stuff like that. So a little bit of storage, like our ironing boards mounted back there, stuff like that. But it's kind of the main like gaming area, and then what would be hanging out at a bar and gaming without a jukebox and some music. So this is actually one of the newest things I've done down here, and I love it. But I got another iPad where I basically made it into an iPad jukebox. So you can see this, like, you know, it says the bar name. We got DJ Rex in the background, got all our apps that we stream, but we'll basically stream music from Spotify, and it's hooked up to those two Beats Pill speakers. Below it, it actually says Arabesh. It says jukebox in Arabesh on the wall. And then to the left, we got our pay structure. So that's the credit price for one song, the credit price for 2 plays, and playing 3 songs, it's that many credits. And there's actually credits from the Credit Collection Black Series figures, which I thought actually looked really cool. So we basically follow every music artist we could think of. So with that, you're not just randomly searching for stuff, but when you go to Spotify and you click on your artists and they're all alphabetized, they're all listed, you're just scrolling through all these instead of like having to search for stuff. So there's just something different about being able to see them all. And we play so many different genres. We're big music people. We'll be anywhere from rock to rap to pop, EDM. We'll play classical music, meditation music when I'm de-stressing, reggae, you know, some oldies stuff. But we play such a mix of stuff. But I wanted a fully dedicated music player in the cantina that we didn't have to like change the TV or play something through the Xbox, anything like that. So that's what I did, and it's mounted to the wall. It's permanently plugged in, so I kind of ran the cord up through the ceiling there and made sure it was blended in with the wall well. So yeah, that's our jukebox down here. And then we got my gaming controllers. These are some other ones I got mounted to the wall that we'll basically use when we play these other systems. So we do a lot of gaming. So again, my main ones are there. And then here's some other controllers. So like another 360, a 1 controller, a couple Switch controllers, a Sega Genesis, and N64. I did finally upgrade to wireless controllers for my retro consoles, and I'm so happy I did. Once I did, again, you're just like, why didn't I do this sooner? And then we got a cool Darth Vader poster down there. Got a Mara Jade poster there. On this side, we got a Last Jedi poster. We got an Acolyte poster there. Then we got my Grogu, that's one of the Mattel Grogus, hanging out on the door. And then the posters on this side, got a Return of the Jedi poster. Got a Solo poster. And these are those like prototype figures, so like retro figures. That was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. And then I got the rest of the A New Hope ones. Well, not really A New Hope with Boba Fett, but the ones that have the Star Wars, like Chase in the back. Because they did a Mandalorian one, but I didn't like how it didn't match the other ones, so I didn't get it. And I think that was the last one of this line that they did. But they fit perfectly in there. And then I also got a Clone Wars poster here. And an Obi-Wan Kenobi poster from the Kenobi series. That's kind of this little area where just using up these doors for some poster space and our gaming area. So I just love the fact that I was able to maximize these door frames with some really cool poster art, and just having the jukebox down here, it just adds so much fun to the whole cantina experience. Just having good music, easily accessible, easily playable. Playing our tabletop games or board games there, and
playing my video games here. And then when my wife and I are down here watching movies, we actually have 2 really good comfy seats to sit in too, which is different. So yeah, you can sit at the bar or the table if you want, but we could sit in the gaming chair, which also fully reclines. And then as you remember, I also have my Yogi Bo Star Wars beanbag chair set, which is so comfortable. So I got the one that's like the Empire one that matches like Palpatine's throne colors. Came with a footrest, like an ottoman, or a little BB-8, and that has our Rey Build-A-Bear on it. And then that's a Empire woven blanket, throw blanket from Heroes and Villains. So if you need to use a blanket, there's one there. But we got 2 really comfy chairs to sit in when we're watching our Star Wars shows or Star Wars movies. And it's just fun hanging out down here. And they match, they fit the space great. Everything's Star Wars branded. So yeah, I just love hanging out down here. And then yeah, one last area to get to for the room tour this year, and that's the TV/media area. So without further ado, let's get to it. All right, and here is the media area. So I got my TV. It's on one of those like mount stands that was able to raise it a little bit, which works great here. We got some 6-scale figures. You see that digital movie poster in the background on the iPad. I still love how that looks. I'm actually showing one of my old room tour videos on the TV right now. But this is where got some 6-scale, some Hot Toys figures, got all my gaming consoles, my books, Lego, and a bunch of video games. So it's kind of like the entertainment area, if you will. And that's actually the same shelf. There's 4 of the same shelves just kind of put side by side, but I like the shelf space and they're not thick. So they save some room down here because, like I said, it's a small basement. It's a big room, but it's a small basement. I would say, like, it's, I don't know, you really got to be down here to see and feel the scale of it, but I didn't want to use up unnecessary space for something like the width of a shelf. It's just pointless. So it's worked perfectly, and we got a lot of good stuff displayed down here. But the TV, it's not the most amazing TV. I'm eventually going to upgrade to something new. And that's wild too. On the TV, it's showing like an older layout of the exact same area. I did not plan that at all, folks. That just kind of happened. But it's not the most amazing TV, but it's fine. It works good. I'm cool with it. It's only a 32-inch, so it's not that big, but for the space and stuff, it fits perfectly. I probably wouldn't go any bigger than 43 down here, to be honest, but I think I'm gonna wait till this one starts to die to where I eventually upgrade to a bigger, higher def TV, because it serves all the purpose for everything I do down here, and I'm good with it. And so I got that there, and then there's the other Beats Pill speaker that's hooked up to the music system. And then down there, I actually have a mini sound bar hooked up to the TV. So it's not the most amazing sound, but it's definitely better than the sound on the TV itself. So that's there. And then gaming consoles, I actually have a Xbox One X. These are all hooked up. Do a little bit of gaming on all these consoles. So it's an Xbox One X. You got a Sega Genesis. You got a Nintendo Switch. We got an Xbox 360. And we got a Nintendo 64. And basically the 64 and the Genesis on the composite cords, they're basically all hooked up to that switcher. It's hooked up to the TV, so when I want to switch which one I'm playing, I just press that button. And then both the Xbox's HDMI cords are hooked up to that switcher. So I can just switch, press that button, which one links to the TV. And then the Switch is hooked directly to the TV. But we got 5 gaming consoles down here. You can play a little bit of everything. And then I guess we'll get into the 6-scale figures next. So on the main area, like with the TV, I got all Sith Lord / Darkside users. So I got all villains around the TV on this like main lower shelf. So on this side over here, I love these things, but my battle damaged Darth Vader and my custom Darkside Padme. I mean, how cool is all that? Looks awesome. Absolutely love this.
just have them layered so good. But they look great. And then to the right, I got Hot Toys Shin and Ahsoka. Front and center, we got Star Killer, one of my favorite Hot Toys ever, this thing is. This thing is so cool. I mean, look at that. It's awesome. And then my newest Hot Toys is Darth Sidious. I just got him like last week. I was hoping he'd come before the video, before May the 4th, and he did, so he's there. So nice and symmetrical, this design. Putting out all villains around the TV. And then on the other side, we got Kylo Ren. That's the Rise of Skywalker version. And that's the newest version of the Phantom Menace Darth Maul. With that awesome head sculpt. Look at that. I think it's so cool. And then we got Darth Revan. And that's actually a statue, but that's a 3D printed statue of Darth Talon I got off Etsy. I don't know if I'll ever do a Talon in Hot Toys, but I got this instead right now. Love this piece. So that's my Darth Talon, and then this is my custom Darkside Rey that I made. Just came out looking so good. She was kind of inspired by Katana from Mortal Kombat, the look. But pieced that together with just some stuff that I got from like 3D prints and some custom 6-scale shops. That came out great. So got all villains around the TV on this main shelf. And then this one shelf up here, I do have some heroes. So I got Rise of Skywalker Rey, you know, Season 7 Ahsoka from Clone Wars, and Padme Amidala from Attack of the Clones. So that's on the top shelf here, the 6-scale area that's surrounding the TV. Yeah, that's Rise of Skywalker Rey. That was actually the first Hot Toy I ever bought. So when they first got that, and I pre-ordered the Season 7 Ahsoka. But just so excellent looking. Love the fact that it came with the yellow saber. Ahsoka's great too. I was really happy with that pose for Padme. I did have to use a stand for her because she literally fell off this on the floor 2 separate occasions and somehow did 0 damage to it. I don't know how, but literally a couple days I came down, she was literally from there on the floor and was completely fine 2 separate times. So of course after that happens, like, all right, dude, you got to use a stand. You can't keep taking your chances with that. So I finally put a stand under her. But yeah, so the TV area just looks awesome. And then last but not least, we got like the entertainment center under the TV. So this is where all my Lego sets are, video games, books, comics, things like that. So all the entertainment is of all the like actual media that we consume down here. So each shelf, it's kind of layered to where there's like columns where there's either like a row of Legos or a roll of books or a row of games, but see, they're all kind of like divided up in half. Just keeping that symmetry like that. So it came out good, but we'll start with the top right. We got a Lego X-Wing, some minifigs. I put all the minifigs kind of in the front of these shelves. So we got minifigs there, just some like black ones, like troopers, stuff like that. We got Luke's Land Speeder, X-Wing, and then my Xbox Series X games, which our Series X and our Switch 2 are in the living room upstairs. So that's where we keep most of our like modern, 2 most modern consoles. But I had these games on digital, and I've already beaten all of them, so I got physical copies down here. But those are the only like Series X games that I have as physical copies. So they're there, but it's Jedi Survivor, Outlaws, and Squadrons, all Star Wars games, of course. And then the next row down, we got some books. I'm currently reading the Yoda book, the Dark Rendezvous Yoda book. Currently reading that. And then we got some N64 games. And then the cartridge games where there's games in the front, I tried to put like games in the front of them. They each hold like 10 games, and they're different rows. So I tried to put in the front something that I view as like essential to the console or really more favorite games. So the 64, we got Smash Brothers, Harvest Moon, and Pokemon Snap in the front. And then this next row has some more minifigures, some books, Yoda's hut, and then I actually have 2 Galactic Empire CDs. If y'all know the band Galactic Empire, we just saw them. They were here a couple nights ago, so we went to their concert, and we got 2 CDs to add to the physical media area. And then we got Krennic's Lego Shuttle, some like visual guides, visual dictionaries there. And this next shelf, we got Sega Genesis games, and some minifigs, and a Y-Wing. So for the Sega Genesis in the front row, put Street Fighter 2 Special Champions Edition, Mortal Kombat 2, Golden Axe, and Sonic the Hedgehog 2. These are my Sega games, and those are my comic books in between there. I don't have too many comics, but bust one out every now and then. And then I got the ATM 6 here from the Battle of Crate. This is my 360 games, so again, back row, got some of the Batman games, the Mass Effect trilogy, a couple Call of Duties, the Halo games, the BioShock trilogy. Lower shelf, got the GTA 360 games, some more books, and the Ski Speeder. Next shelf over, I actually have my Star Wars trilogy VHS tapes. So those are the original unedited VHS tapes for the last time they came out on VHS. Those are actually the last official releases of the unedited versions of the original trilogy. So I got those there, and then the back row I do have the special edition of the Star Wars trilogy, also on VHS tape. So that's down in the physical media area. A couple Last Jedi Lego sets, some minifigures there. A Lego TIE Fighter pilot helmet, and my original Xbox physical games that I have. So again, Halo, the KOTOR games, Elder Scrolls, GTA, Lego Star Wars, Project Gotham Racing's back there, Battlefront is back there. Genesis, my Switch, we've already talked about. In this next row, we got Star Wars Trilogy Blu-rays. That's actually the newest release of the 3 separate trilogies on Blu-ray. I like the fact that they're all in standard small boxes, so they save so much space. So that's episodes 1 through 9 on Blu-ray. And we got some Clone Wars Legos with them. And here we got a Lego Grogu and some books. And we got some Mandalorian Legos. And some more like visual dictionaries, stuff like that. You know, Lego visual dictionaries. And this next shelf, we got a Rise of Skywalker thing going on, but we got Poe's X-Wing, some Rise of Skywalker minifigs, and then my Xbox One games. So Star Wars games, Titanfall is awesome. Love the Xbox One, love Xbox overall. So that's the next shelf, and then we got my Emperor's Throne Room here, which I actually broke up and put it on 2 separate levels with a riser, which actually made it fit that space well. And a bunch of Trooper minifigs, and then these are all like Star Wars magazine specials. So like when the Rise of Skywalker came out, there's a bunch of like special like Entertainment Weeklies and People magazines that were all Star Wars issues. There's a Mad Magazine special, but those are all like Star Wars specific magazines that are all Star Wars. And then we got more 64 games, Shadows of the Empire, which is actually like the reason I got that console on my 13th birthday. I wanted to get it to play Shadows of the Empire. I still love that game. And Diddy Kong Racing, and some Phantom Menace Legos, got the speeder from Solo. We got the N1 Starfighter, some Phantom Menace minifigs. In the bottom left corner, we got some more books, some Lego, more N64 games. Yeah, 2 of the 3 E.K. Johnson Padme books. I need to get the other one, the middle book, which I don't have yet. And you got Wave Race 64, Rogue Squadron, and the best game of all time, Zelda: The Ocarina of Time. In the front row there. And then the last row, last but not least, got some more Clone Wars Legos. And then some more books. Those are kind of like the Bomber Command books. In that whole era, so that's kind of the TV area, guys. So yeah, I just love hanging out down here, love watching shows, movies, playing games. There's no better place to chill than our basement cantina, and that pretty much concludes everything. There is nothing that I missed. It's gonna be a pretty lengthy video. I hope everybody enjoys it. Hope everybody enjoyed seeing the tour. If you have any questions, obviously hit me up in the comments. Just do a little bit more of a pan through overall of the space, but yeah, this is the 2026 collection room. I love hanging out down here. It is, like I said 1,000 times, it's such a good way to de-stress and just kind of try to get away from the realities of life sometimes. And it's cool having a place to chill at home. Yeah, we have so much fun down here, my wife and I, and have people over, people can hang out, and just good times, good vibes here in the cantina. So hope everybody enjoyed the tour. About to cut it off here, but enjoy your May the 4th, enjoy your holiday. Spread love, not hate, spread positivity. May the force be with you all.